Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Welcome to the Money Cure. Once again, I had to think about it. Happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, whatever it is you celebrate around this time of the year. Happy Tuesday if you're not into the holidays, because that's okay as well. Hope all is fantastic with you guys. I'm your host, Reverend Sean Robert Grant. Happy to have you here with me on another amazing episode of this lovely podcast, The Money Cure. All right. And so amazing what we got rolling and ready to get happening for you here. Just give me 1 second real quick. There we go. Is that right? Okay, just adjusting my levels for you. Anyway, hope you guys are doing fantastic. Want to tell you how much I appreciate you being here. As we've restarted kicking up this podcast, it's been a blast because there's so much to talk about. There's so much to expunge and extrapolate on in the form of truth and knowledge, wisdom, insight, understanding from a divine perspective. And so I'm happy to give it to you. With that being said, if you have any type of correspondence, any type of feedback, any type of comments, any, kind words, and you want to send to us over here at the Money Cure Podcast, please do so at SeanG04@gmail.com. That's ShaungG04@gmail.com. Also, guys, if you're looking for some resources, we got plenty of resources here. Starting off with The Money Cure, the book, The Money Cure, Healing Your Relationship to Money and Discovering the True Path of Abundance. It was published this year on Amazon in paperback as well as Kindle. It's an amazing book, and I purposely made it a short read because I want you to be able to get through the book and read it again and understand the truth of what's happening as it relates to you improving your relationship to all things money, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, along those lines of the idea or the concept of money. So that is available on Amazon if you'd like to get that. And then also, if you want some free resources, uplifterentertainment.com. There's a section called The Money Cure. And then we have Medium, right? Medium.com/ShaungRant. And you'll go right to my page. And I think I got 288 articles total. And hundreds of those are on the topic of money. There's some other stuff, spirituality blended in. So have at it. And if you really want to dive into those, I can give you the friend link. Just send me a message at that email and I'll hook it up for you if you're not a member on Medium right here, right now. So, mouthful. Let's get into today's message real quick here. So today's topic is rich in consciousness, rich in reality. And I talked more about this in 2020. I really dove on it. I dove into it in just an enormous way because I really wanted to drive the point home, because this is by far the most important thing when it comes to manifestation or manifesting anything, let alone money, resources, opportunity, whatever it might be. You have to understand that everything is set up to really reflect what is in your consciousness, right? And so if you're not sure what consciousness is, consciousness can be defined as a lot of things. The one thing we do know it is that it is the essence of God. And the essence of God becomes the ability to think, to feel, to believe, to act, okay? We'll keep it somewhat layman's terms and common. When we say consciousness, we're basically talking about your awareness, okay? And your awareness can only happen inside of yourself, okay? It can only happen inside of yourself. And so when we understand that on a level where we've accepted it into our subconscious, right? Then we can start to see it unfold in physical or material reality, right? So I always say, I used to start, certain segments by just saying rich in consciousness, rich in reality, rich in consciousness, rich in reality, rich in consciousness, rich in reality. I'm not rich because I have money. I have money because I am rich, right? So that kind of flips the normalized thought as to how we manifest, how we create money in our lives, right? So for the most part, most individuals seek money on the external, right? They say, okay, I'm in a deficit. I got to go get a job. I got to go call this person, got to go call that person, got to do this, got to do that. All these external actions. But the reality is the true wealth is created. What's already, I guess you can say it's embodied within the self, within the infinite supply that is the God that is you within yourself. That's where it's embodied. And then once it's embodied, and once you have a conviction from there, right? When there's a subconscious conviction from there, it begins to show up in your life through the channels of clients, through the channel of investments, through the possible channels of your job, of a relative giving you a Christmas gift or a friend giving you a Christmas gift. That then shows you like what is within your own consciousness. And so all you really have to do is look at your life and see, how am I manifesting money into my life? Am I doing it in a way that is completely predicated on my ability to work hard physically? And look, there's no blame, there's no shame, there's nothing wrong if that's the way that you're doing the things. I'm just here to give you an easier opportunity to turn things around and to create the chance to do it in a way that is conducive to you being your absolute best without having to exert hard work, or as we used to say in the metaphysical community, grind it out by the sweat of your brow, right? So on top of that, most importantly, you always have to know, okay, what's going on inside of me, right? What's going on inside of me? And if you want to get specific, you can say, what's going on inside of me as it relates to money, right? What are my predominant thoughts as it relates to money? And if you don't know, right, or if you don't have like a sense of awareness to get it just yet, what you can do is just kind of take a look at your life, right? Look at your finances. Look at your financial life. And what do you see? What do you see when you look at your financial life? Are you manifesting money in different channels and different avenues? Or are you struggling, right? Are you in debt, right? And once again, there's no judgment here. It's just an opportunity to see the truth of what's really happening inside of you, right? Are you finding that you just can't get enough of it, or you have so much of it is just coming in more than you can even count, right? All of this tells us what is going on within our own consciousness, which within our own thoughts, feelings, emotions, beliefs, actions as it relates to money, right? And the beauty is, if it is something you don't see, you can immediately change it around, turn it around, right? Because that's the power that the God in us has given us, is the ability to create our worlds based on a divine substance and energy that is present always and ready to shift and move and be as transient as we need it to be in order to live our lives to the fullest, right? So in getting back to this whole consciousness thing and thought thing, where would you say you are in consciousness as it relates to money, right? And something I like to do that I did for a long time is I wanted to get a measuring stick to see where I was, right? And so I would say to myself, on a scale from 0 to 100, supreme infinite intelligence in my subconscious mind. 100 being completely in alignment, 0 being not in alignment at all. Am I in vibrational alignment or compatibility with the idea of wealth, right? Or the divine idea of wealth? And sometimes I would get like a 91, 92. Sometimes it would go down to a 77, whatever it is. But I could kind of have that measuring stick to see where I was. So once I knew where I was, then I could say, okay, this is the work that I need to get done. Let me discover what's causing me not to be at 100. And then that began to unfold a lot of the childhood stuff that was like resonant in my consciousness, because then once I became aware that there were some issues there, I could dive into them and begin to figure out, okay, what is the root cause of this? If I know I live in the law of mentalism states I live in a mental universe, that means that there has to be a correlating thought to every manifestation we have. So that means if I'm manifesting, like, I'll give you a perfect example. And this is just absolutely like, it's funny now looking back on it, because I understand, who my source is, who my supply is as far as the God as me goes when it comes to money, when it comes to riches, abundance, and prosperity. But before, it was pretty crazy to watch this happen. So I'll give you the example. So there was a time where I would basically have people tell me that they would give me money, right? I would have people tell me that they would give me money, and then all of a sudden they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't keep their word, right? And so if you know me, immediately it's like, holy shit, okay, am I not keeping my word on something? What is the reason for this? Why am I, in such a situation or a position where I have somebody tell me they're going to give me something, and then all of a sudden they just ghost, right? So I had to put myself into a space of relaxation, a space of openness to the divine essence and wisdom, knowledge, and insight within me to figure out what was really going on with that, right? Because on a surface level, on a material level, it was super frustrating, right? For somebody to say that they're going to do something for you and then they don't do it, and to know like you are someone who keeps their word all the time, you are someone who does exactly what they say. It was a challenge beyond measure, right? Like I couldn't begin to figure out why. And then I had the most amazing revelation, and that revelation was, you have to understand that you are rich in your consciousness first. You have to understand that you're rich in your mind first and foremost, right? Having money on the outside, receiving money, does not make you rich, right? It does not make you prosperous, wealthy, abundant. No, how you feel within, how you think within, what you believe within yourself, your consciousness is what's going to truly make you wealthy and abundant and prosperous and rich. So when the divine came to that conclusion and showed me that, immediately it just allowed me to let go, right? Because here's the reality about this. And if you've ever experienced this, I want you to know something right now that is so true. If someone says they're going to give you something and then they wind up not giving it to you, the reality is that person wasn't supposed to give you whatever they said they're going to give you. They were not the best channel to offer you that thing. And that's something to rejoice on, because here's the deal with money. The majority of the people in this material world, this physical world, this 3D world, have a lot of hang-ups and a lot of emotional trauma around the idea of money and how it relates to their lives. And the reality is money's just neutral. The real thing is there's emotions behind it, right? There's emotions that cause them to see the idea of money in a different way that's usually unhealthy and can cause dis-ease and can cause struggles and everything else. And so I say that because it's important for you not to take it personal. It's important for you not to feel like, okay, well, what's going on here? Why is this like this? What can I do? How can I? You don't need to do anything, right? The sooner we understand that we take no action on the outside, we take all the action within, and we I don't want to say fix, but we elevate the awareness of our consciousness to a higher level. There, we will see that we don't need to be involved or on top of these things that come up that can, from an egotistical standpoint, feel like a slap in the face, right? And that's just the reality of it is but we're spiritual beings first and foremost, and we have to understand, okay, there's a reason why this unfolds the way that it does. There's a reason why this is in my consciousness happening the way that it does. And I realized it was telling me that it's not the money that makes me rich. My consciousness makes me rich. And you know how it says, the Bible verse says, God gives you wealth and adds no sorrow to it. Well, the truth of the matter is, God as you gives you an enormous amount of wealth because it's already all there in the kingdom of heaven, in the subconscious mind within you. It's already all there, and adds no sorrow to it, which means you have all the money. You have all the prosperity, wealth, abundance, and riches within you, right? It's just expressing itself in form on the outside. Now, let me tell you something. If it doesn't express in a certain way, guess what? The God in you has an infinite number of channels to express it, right? So if Bobby don't give it to you, then Jake might give it to you, or Susie might give it to you, or Mama Rose might give it to you, right? You just never really know, but you just leave it up to the universe, being guided by the universal mind, being guided by the infinite presence of God to deliver that to you in the most wonderful way possible. And you'll begin to see, okay, it's not about anything external. It's not about the people outside of me. It is truly and utterly all about my consciousness within myself, which leads me to this point of be rich in thought, be rich in feeling, right? Be rich in action, right? There was a time when I was first really transforming my consciousness, and I would, when I meditated, I would say, I am, because the power is in I am, right? The power is in complete I am. I would say, I am infinitely rich with an infinite supply of money. Okay? I am infinitely rich with an infinite supply of money. And so I would focus on that statement when I was meditating, and then as I was going to sleep, because your subconscious mind is most receptive when you're going to bed or when you just wake up in the morning. And so I was doing that, right? And when it really started to shift, when it really started to sink into my deeper mind, I was looking for the external to validate what the divine idea that I was giving to my subconscious mind, right? I was looking on the outside for money. I wanted money to validate, but the reality is, if you think about what I was saying, I wasn't saying I have an infinite supply of money because I am infinitely rich. No, I said I am infinitely rich with an infinite supply of money. Now, universe is no fool. So what the universe wind up doing is it would create this impregnation of this divine idea into my subconscious mind would create a feeling, a state of being within myself, right? A consciousness of being. And it would lead me, whereas in the past, I would be hesitant to sort of use money because I'm like, oh, well, I only have such and such. I only have so much. But it would lead me to use that money, right? It would lead me to use that money, and then using that money to believe, as I was using it, that I was infinitely rich with an infinite supply of money, which means I could use it because it was going to be replenished by the divine, by my subconscious mind, and I didn't have anything to worry about. But my hiccup came in because I was looking for the money to show up first. So I was doing it backwards, right? Instead of understanding, okay, I had to create the feeling, I had to create the knowing, I had to be convinced, and then I was going to act. And then once I acted, the money would show up. What wound up happening, I mean, like I said, it's funny now, it wasn't funny back then. What wound up happening when I did that, more money would come in because it answered. The subconscious mind always answer. It never fails. And it says, okay, be infinitely rich in vibration first. And from vibration, you're going to act. And then right after that, you'll see the infinite supply of money come through. And so once I was able to sort of right that ship, it really helped me to understand, you know what? I don't ever have to worry about what channel it's coming through. It can come from anywhere, right? Like I've had situations where I just, something I just did not expect to show up from a monetary standpoint, all of a sudden just comes out of the blue and appears in the mailbox, appears in the inbox, right? And it's just like, wow, you know, God and us, the universe can really deliver if we allow ourselves to be completely open and non-resisting to the infinite number of channels. Problem is, we're not always that open to things happening, but we will be and we can be when we know that the real wealth, the true riches, the true abundance is all created in consciousness, right? Abundance in consciousness, abundance in reality. Prosperity in consciousness, prosperity in reality. Wealth in consciousness, wealth in reality. Riches in consciousness, riches in reality. So before I go, all I want to say and remind you of is that if you can get it in your thinking, and when we say thinking, we mean conscious thinking, right? We mean where the conscious mind, the reasoning mind is in alignment and congruence with the subconscious mind. If you can get in your thinking and you can get it in your feeling, right? And you can do it while you can get that thinking and feeling, especially working while you're meditating, while you're relaxed, while you're getting ready to go to bed, it's going to translate into you being conscious of that. And that is going to create every circumstance that aligns to that rich consciousness, right? And once you have that rich consciousness, it is inevitable. It's inevitable that you'll have a rich reality. Guys, thank you so much. Whew. Like I said, it's a mouthful, but it's a very, very important, significant lesson in our journey here with the Money Cure and understanding the true level of abundance. I'm so happy that you were able to join me today. Once again, if you want to send any feedback, if you want to send any comments, if you want to send any type of nice letters or notes, whatever it is, write to us, SeanG04@gmail.com. That's SeanG04@gmail.com. Also, if you want a resource that sort of coincides, well, not sort of, it does coincide with the podcast that we're doing, what we can do is we can put ourselves into, what am I saying? I got distracted. You don't need to put yourself into anything. If you want a resource, you can, there's a book called The Money Cure, Healing Your Relationship to Money and Discovering the True Path to Abundance. You can do that. You can get that book on Amazon in paperback and in Kindle is what I was really trying to say. And also uplifterentertainment.com. There's a section called The Money Cure. And then we have, medium.com/Sean Grant. There are some articles there, some free resources for you if you would rather go that route. But please, by all means, It's all there to help you. It's all well priced. Well, the book is well priced for sure, considering the value you're getting with it. But everything else is pretty much free. And so, it's there for you to take care of. It's there for you to enjoy and to honor and to just live your best life and live your best life financially. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of the day, wonderful rest of the night, morning, whatever it is, and we will talk to you soon. Coming at you live again here. If I don't see you beforehand, happy New Year to you. Happy holidays all around, but I'm sure we will talk soon. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.